For $849, I think we found the origin of bass. This is the ThieAudio origin, a pair of EMs or in-ear monitors, basically earphones, priced at $849. This is the best Basshead EM that I've heard in a really long while, and it's a balanced one. So although it is a Basshead EM, it has a very balanced sound signature in the midrange. So let's see what the ThieAudio origin can do. One of the first things it can do is have a really nice default cable. Most EMs, and for most EMs, I feel the need to upgrade the default cable. Well, not for the ThieAudio origin. So although what you may see is the DD Hi-Fi NIX upgrade cable installed, I actually used this because I was reviewing the DD Hi-Fi cable and I needed a pair of EMs that really can highlight the improvement or the changes that DD Hi-Fi brings with their new cable. So most people just assume straight away that when reviewing a cable, I would say that it makes everything better. I usually prefer the sound with an upgrade cable, but 90% of the time I don't do it for the sound. I do it for the comfort, for the improved ergonomics, and DD Hi-Fi has proven that to be true with their NIX upgrade cable. That being said, it's not better than the original cable of the ThieAudio origin. So you shouldn't lie to yourself. This is a nice cable, but it's not necessarily an improvement. The original cable of the ThieAudio origin is actually one of the best cables we've seen, and that's not even very important when you hear about its sound. So starting with the build quality, this is a pair of EMs that's very ergonomic. The cable is a bit angle prone, obviously I'm still struggling to untangle it. There is notation on the cable on which is the right and which is the left piece. There is also notation on the EMs. Origin has a lot of ventilation and it has bone conduction. The company actually insists that the bone conduction driver doesn't affect just the bass. It's actually there to give body to the entire sound, which is a pretty nice approach. This results in a pretty balanced, pretty fun type of sound. So as you can see, the cable is also has this memory effect. So after it's been coiled, as you can see, it has a few kinks, you know? Yeah, those are a few kinks. Usually they go away if it's pretty warm in the room or if it is pretty warm outside, and they go away on their own if you keep using it for a couple of days. But after it's been stored, you will see those kinks. The wearing comfort is very good. The default cable is pretty tightly coiled around of my ear to remove any kind of cable noise. DD Hi-Fi actually makes a slightly more relaxed cable. This is why I was using it, as I was saying, ergonomics. And although the origin has a ton of ventilation, we have between 25 and 35 decibels of passive noise isolation. This is custom level of passive noise isolation. And that's natural because this EM has a custom mold, which is based on. I have replaced the default ear tips with DD Hi-Fi ST35. I just like those tips. I recommend them for everything. It's not about the sound, it's about the comfort for me. The silicone found in the DD Hi-Fi ST35 helps me not get any kind of infection, irritation, or anything else. For most people, and I have a lot of friends who use EMs on a daily basis, this is not a problem. So you shouldn't have to worry, the default ear tips will be just fine. Origin. It's actually better than most EMs that I've heard. It has a fuller, deeper sub-bass, it has a more natural mid-range and a better extension in the treble. This being said, the sub-bass has an excess of amount between 10 and 20 decibels. So you can hear so much sub-bass. It's so full, so powerful, it's incredibly punchy, incredibly deep, and it has such a strong thump to it, you know? This is how you feel it. It's such a nice sub-bass. The emphasis is placed just on the sub-bass, so after the sub-bass, the sound actually regresses to being pretty neutral, pretty linear. You hear a very natural presentation for most of the upper bass, lower mid-range, higher mid-range even, and there is a slight uplift towards the mid-treble and the upper treble. This results in a pretty U-shaped sound, but which sounds very natural. So all in all, it's a very natural signature. Dă cucubau care n-a ridicat fusta, e adevărat. At any rate, ThieAudio origin is one of the nicest sounding EMs that you can get from Lean Soul. This is an EM mainly sold by Lean Soul. ThieAudio is the kind of brand that doesn't really have a sound signature, so I've reviewed a couple of EMs from them. Most of them were incredibly unnatural in the mid-range, and this has been my complaint during the official review, during the video review usually, is just super unnatural in the mid-range. With ThieAudio origin, I'm really excited about the sound. I really love its sound. It's a beautiful sounding EM. It has a ton of ventilation, so you get a very holographic 3D soundstage. There is a very good and very strong instrument separation, so you get a lot of separation between each layer. Everything is super nicely defined. If there would be any kind of disadvantage to the ThieAudio origin, that's that the midrange is a bit cold. As I was saying, most of the EMs made by ThieAudio did not have a very natural midrange. Most of the EMs did the bass very well, did the treble very well, but the midrange was always a bit hit and miss. Well, the Origin has the best midrange this company has ever created. It's super delightful, it's natural, you don't hear any kind of unnaturalness, but it is a bit on the colder side, which means that there isn't a lot of emotion in the midrange. It tends to focus on the precision. You get a very precise presentation from each instrument, everything just sounds natural, everything just sounds super well defined, super clean. I am absolutely in love with the ThieAudio Origin. It sounds controlled, precise, and color-free. The midrange is very color-free. So despite the extreme amount of sub-bass and the extreme amount of treble that it has, the ends are super uplifted. The midrange and everything that's actual musical information is super flat, clean, and just sounds incredibly clear. So it doesn't have a lot of distortion. I kept comparing it in another video that I filmed of the Suyer HEA N7 Pro. HEA N7 Pro has a slightly higher amount of distortion. You hear that in the bass, you hear that in the midrange, while ThieAudio Origin has a lower amount of distortion. It is the clearer, more precise EM. N7 Pro has a more engaging sound. It tends to have a better vocal rendering. It's easier to recommend to someone who wants a romantic sound. While ThieAudio Origin is much better if you are analytical as a person, if you want to hear absolutely everything, if you enjoy an analytical sound, then ThieAudio Origin is going to be my recommendation. Judging everything through and through, I personally consider the ThieAudio Origin to be the best EM I ever had from Lean Soul. This is the best sounding earphone that I ever created. From what I know, ThieAudio Origin is in very close collaboration with Lean Soul. Sometimes they go hand in hand. From everything, absolutely everything that I've reviewed from Lean Soul, this is the best. If you want to hear the best that Lean Soul has to offer, just check out the ThieAudio Origin. Also, please check out the purchase links in the video description. Please like this video if you enjoy it. Please also subscribe to my channel. I am grateful that you are watching my channel. I hope that I'll be in a better place by the times we are posting this. We're gonna see each other very soon. Bye!